Salsa. Joby, what are we making today?
Salsa.
Straight. A little hot, but I'm going to show you in the video how you could adjust the heat, make your own salsa. It's awesome, it's easy. I don't use all kind of craziness, stuff you can buy, keep on hand, and your guests will love it, and if not, you could eat it by yourself. It's all good. All right, check it out. This is a recipe I came up with trying to copy one of the brands I liked. It uses some fresh stuff, but mostly real easy to deal with. I think the result is really good. A couple tree people have said it also, and you know, it's good. I think it's good because it's pretty cheap and it's nice and fresh and all that. So let's take a look over here at what we're going to be using. First thing is the tomatoes. The recipe is going to be for a decent amount, so obviously you're going to double everything. I use 1 can. I like this S&W petite cut, and I'll tell you later why with the petite cut. And you can get these in Costco by the case, so that's kind of nice. I put garlic in. I use a minced garlic, that doesn't matter. Lime juice, again, you could use a lime, but this is easier. Cilantro, I like this paste here. Can you see it in there? I like this paste. You find it in the where the vegetables are, and it just mixes up nicely. I'm using a jalapeno, and you can get pretty decent heat out of that. If you wanted to go hotter, you could use a serrano, or I've even made it with habanero. And some salt. I like the kosher coarse sea salt, and then a bit of onion, and that's it. I got this over here, you know, my cutting board to cut up the onion and the pepper. And then this is something I got. You don't have to have one of these. It works really well. This blade is crazy sharp. I'm pretty sure Tupperware makes this. But it's nice because you can use the bowl afterwards. Okay, and you got your crank. The lid has like a transmission in it, so it spins really fast. Again, this blade is crazy sharp. And then I use this blade when we put the onion in. I'll show you that after. But you can use a processor if you wanted to, or if, I guess if it's all chunky, well, you got to cut up the pepper, so you need some kind of chopper, but I use this one. It's nice. So anyway, okay. The thing you got to understand, a couple things. First of all, the reason I do the petite is if you want it kind of chunky. If you want the salsa kind of chunky, then I would only put half of this in there and process it, and then dump the other half at the very end. Okay, second thing, the heat. You're gonna see when we cut this open, I'm pretty sure that the spicy part is in the seeds and the guts. So if you don't want it spicy, if you want to make sure it's not spicy, take out all the seeds and don't put them in there. Sometimes I'll take the seeds out, it'll still be kind of hot, or I'll keep all the seeds in and it won't. So I don't know exactly what the rhyme or reason is. The onion, I used to put the onion in with the mixer, and then the onion would kind of froth up. I don't like that. So I'm gonna dice the onion really small and just hand mix it at the end. That's what this thing is for, but you could just mix it by hand. Okay, and then you know you need one of these too, measuring. I'm gonna show you the ratio for everything. Make sure your knife is sharp so you don't hurt yourself. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this pepper. Alright, I'm just going to take the top off of it. And then normally I could, you know, you could just slice it like this if you want to. It doesn't matter, the thing's going to cut it up. But I'm going to cut it in half here and show you all of these seeds. If you want to take them out, you just kind of make a cut like this to each side. Kick them out of there, you know, and then you're going to throw that right in here. Can you see that? I'm going to keep them in there because I like heat. So again, depending on what you're using for a processor, you can throw those on, throw this thing away. Good. Next, these 3 ingredients, I'll put this to the side. These 3 ingredients, I came up, you know, I did this a couple of times and I kept messing with the recipe until I got something I liked. These 3 I use in equal amounts. And I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of each one of these. Okay? So, You know, you can do the salt first and then nothing sticks to it. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then this one's a little less gooey. Okay, that goes in there like that. And then last, the lime juice. Okay. So next we got the garlic. Now this thing, I go by what this says. It says half a teaspoon is approximately 1 clove, and I'll put 1 to 2 cloves. You could adjust this, of course you can adjust everything. So that would mean 1 teaspoon, but I don't use this only because I don't want to put that inside this garlic. So sometimes I'll just use a spoon and kick it in there, but since we're shooting a video, let's measure it. 1, 2. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. The reason I do these ingredients first, again, this is from trial and error, is if you put the tomatoes in first, then it doesn't mix up as good. This way, I get it mixed really well. So I got my blade in there. This thing just snaps on. Again, I think this is Tupperware. I forget what it's called. It says Tupperware. I'm just gonna mix this up. Okay, nice and choppity chop. Usually when the pepper is down to like the size of the seeds, then I'm pretty happy about it. Now the only thing left to do is the onion and the tomato. I'll crack this open. I'll put half of the tomatoes and then hit it again. This gives you a little more liquid, and then it'll let everything wash down into the blades, and you can really get it chopped up nice. When I first got this thing, I was like, that ain't gonna work, but it works awesome. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Again, I kept back a little more than half. If I wanted to, I could switch to this blade right now and leave it, you know, really chunky, but I don't do that. I could even put this in here and just give it a couple turns. Let's see what that did. And you can see it's still pretty chunky. But again, if you're making a double batch, then you could just put a whole can in, and then the second can you could leave that chunky. Whatever, you could do what you want. Okay. Now we're really looking like salsa. If you don't like onion, then you're done. Okay, but I do. And I put it in there. I went back and forth with the onion, and I end up using like a quarter onion now. I was like at a half, but it was a little too much for me. Obviously, do what you like. So when you have the onion whole, you know, maybe I'll do another one on how to cut an onion. You keep the root on the bottom. You can cut all this and dice it real easy, but I already cut this one up, so I'm just gonna try and cut this as small as possible. Again, sharp knife is actually safer. And then we're gonna, sometimes too, you think, hey, I use a quarter onion, you start cutting it and you're like, this is too much. So, whatever. Let's finish this. And that's enough. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna change this blade again. I don't want to use this blade with the onion because it'll froth it up and it's nasty. This is the mixer blade. And if you're just using a regular electric processor, then at this point you can just stir it with a spoon. That's it. Straight. If you have questions, let me know. I have this recipe on a document that I will gladly send to you. Just let me know. Thanks.